Hello, hello. Good evening, everyone. Good morning, good night, whatever part of the universe you are, and whatever time of the day it is. So I'm just on here for a short while. My topic is stop playing Russian roulette with your salvation. Who is influencing you? At times we look at our children or maybe ourselves or friends, and we see that the behavior pattern changes sometimes. And looking a little deeper, we may realize that it's friends of our children, or friends of ourselves, or friends or colleagues of other persons that behave in that way. And when we are around them, or children are around them, that's the way they behave. In psychology, it is called conformity. Spiritually, it is called transferable spirits. Now, we tend to not pay attention to how our friends react or behave in a particular manner, especially if we want to be in company of these persons. And like, for instance, children, their friends, peer pressure, they may be encouraged or influenced to do certain things. For instance, smoking, fighting, as adults, probably drinking. And that's because, again, conformity or transfer of spirits. Now, Ephesians 6:12, I've just got some scriptures to share here. Yeah. Tells us, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Now we need to stay prayed up. We need to stay in God's will because maybe what we are adapting or what Spirit has transferred to us and resulting in our behavior is not God's will for our lives, right? We have to ask ourselves certain questions. Are we spending major time on minor things, or are we spending major time with people of minor influence or negative influence, or is it positive influence? We would like to be positive because there's also another scripture that says in Proverbs 25:20, he that has no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down without walls. I'll even go to 2 Timothy 1:7. For God had not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. Now we may be experiencing fear of not being part of that crowd, not being accepted because we are probably different. But God made us different in that way because we are of this world. We are in this world, sorry, but we are not of this world. Yeah. And we are supposed to show a change. We are supposed to be different to the regular. Okay, let me say it differently. Let me rephrase that. We are supposed to behave differently because if we have Christ within us, we would not be acting like the regular unsafe person. Someone can't pronounce the name. Hello in the comments there. All right. And then to back that up, I have Romans 12:2, which says, "And be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove that which is good and acceptable and perfect will of God," which means we have to use our discernment. Are we behaving in a way that's pleasing to God? Are we saying things that's pleasing to God? Are we going places that's pleasing to God? Are we doing things, reading things, looking at things that's pleasing to Him? And that all comes down again to people in our circle. Who is in our circle? What are we being influenced, as I said before, to listen to? How do we feel when we in this circle and behavioral pattern of those persons? Is it okay with God? All right. We need to understand the power of influence. There are hidden forces that shapes our behavior. Again, because of Romans 12:2, we should be able to discern and know the difference. Is it okay? Now, sometimes we don't want to let go of certain friends, and you know, because we may be lonely, but we are never lonely. God is always with us. God is always with us. We may not have a physical person around, but God is always there. So, we need to self reflect, look at our strengths, our weaknesses. Let us try to be positive at all times and not negative. Let us try to encourage positive conversations, entertain positive conversations, not negative ones. And reflecting, we have to ask ourselves, who have we become? Or who are we becoming? When I said let go of some persons, probably where God is taking us, there's no room for those individuals because our calling is different to theirs. Our purpose is different to theirs. What God has in store for us is not what we want, but what He wants for us. Yeah. So I'm giving you one more scripture. 1 Corinthians 10:13. There hath no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man. But God is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that you are able, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape, that you may be able to bear it. Meaning, God will always make a way. We will always be tempted. Everyone goes through temptation. Our flesh is always fighting with our spirit, but with Christ, all things are possible. All right. This scripture was given to the Corinthians by Apostle Paul as a message of encouragement to encourage them that what they were going through, they were not alone. A lot of persons were tempted. A lot of persons went through challenges, temptations, but God is able to bring you through it all. So, in closing, I would say to you, remember you are not replaceable. You are not, you cannot be duplicated. You are not replaceable. You cannot be duplicated. And you are a treasure that's one of a kind. So, thank you for listening. God bless.